How's it going, YouTube lovers? This is the Eagle Builder Animator, and welcome back to another Eagle 8 Countdown. Today, we are coming back because you loved the first episode so much, and I love the show that I did last time so much that we are, this time, going to look at the best quotes from Season 1 of Star vs. Forces of Evil of Marco Diaz, Star Butterfly's best friend and the second main character of the show. So here we go. Without further ado, let's jump right into this Eagle 8 Countdown. Here are the top 8 quotes from Marco Diaz in Star vs. the Forces of Evil Season 1. Number 8. This quote is from episode 7b, Sleep Spells. In this episode, it pretty much is as the name implies. Star starts spelling in her sleep. So Marco, who is noticing by keeping track on a notebook that Star has saved him way more times than he has saved her, he decides that this is a chance to save her using psychology. Star doesn't actually know what psychology is, so Marco describes it for her.
Psychology is like karate for your mind.
Of course he would find a way to tie in karate. I mean, he's a green belt in karate, and he pretty much is obsessed with it. Watches karate movies, fights monsters with karate. It would make sense if he was able to describe psychology in terms of karate. So anyway, then he manages to try to help Star, but turns out she was somehow defending herself from this monster princess thing that was after her. It was a really weird episode, but it was a lot of fun to see Star narwhal blast Marco in her sleep. So anyway, that's this quote. Let's go on to the next one. Number 7. This quote is from episode 1b, Party with a Pony. So in this episode, we first meet Ponyhead, who wants to keep Star all to herself as a best friend, but she finally gives up when she realizes how much Marco's friendship means to Star. So when Ponyhead and Star try to save Marco from these guards from St. O's that have been chasing Ponyhead, Ponyhead puts up a good fight, but at the end, she realizes she's definitely messed up. I mean, she's a bit of a wild one. But anyway, as she was being literally let off with a harness on, off to St. O's, Marco gives her one final goodbye, saying,
Hey, Ponyhead. Good luck in Princess Jail.
It's sweet. These two definitely do become friends, even though they still can't stand each other sometimes. They find each other to be really weird, but that's the same kind of thing with Star and Marco. They find each other to be weird too, so they're just a weird group of eclectic friends. So anyway, that was this quote from Party with the Pony. Let's go on to the next one. Number 6. This quote is from episode 1A, Star Comes to Earth. So this is the first episode of the series. They were first being introduced to Marco and what he's like. And, of course, Principal Skeeves sees him as the perfect guy to give this new foreign exchange student, Star Butterfly, a tour around the school and to keep an eye on her, especially because her parents paid him a lot of gold and jewels, which he then spends on ice cream. But anyway, Mark, when he's being called to the principal's office, thought it was because he had done something wrong. And he was excited for that, actually, because everyone saw him, of course, as the safe kid. And he did not want to be seen like the safe kid. He sees himself as a bad boy, which he really isn't at all. But he even tells Skeeves this.
No. I am completely wrong for this. I'm a misunderstood bad boy.
Marco, even the principal doesn't believe that you're a bad boy. No one believes you're a bad boy. The closest you're going to get is all the crazy adventures that you go on with Star in the future, but you're still not a bad boy. You're still the safe kid. That's just, there's no way around it, Marco. I'm sorry, buddy. I really am. Not really, though, because your character is brilliant and you have so many funny lines you come up with. But anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the next one. Number 5. This quote is from episode 9b, Royal Pain. Now, in this episode, Star's dad is staying with them for a little bit, and Star's realizing that he's a bit of a handful, which is probably why Star's mom kicked the king out of the castle in the first place, to be honest. But anyway, while she is trying to deal with all of the crazy things that he's done and the people he invited to a party, Marco is dealing with issues where everything that he does and everything Star does ends up soaking his socks. For some reason, he has a prejudice against wet socks. And I understand they're not comfortable, but he really doesn't like wet socks. So anyway, at some point, Star is just completely apologetic to Marco about how everything that she's done to try to have fun has soaked his socks. Literally everything in this episode she's done has made his socks soaking wet. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Marco tells her it's okay, and he just wants a little bit of warning next time she wants to do something fun, because
There's really nothing worse than wet socks.
I can think of a couple things that are worse than wet socks, Marco, but they are pretty uncomfortable. I can totally understand that 100%. But anyway, this was a very funny quote because it just shows more into the personality of Marco, his likes and dislikes. But anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the next one. Number 4. This quote is from episode 4b, Quest Buy. In this episode, Star's wand is starting to lose some of its magical energy, and she can't find her charger. So she and Marco have to go to Quest Buy, which is basically interdimensional Costco on steroids. There is so much danger here, not just the danger of having to buy any of the items there. There is actually stuff that can kill you there. It's kind of terrifying, and I don't know why anyone would want to shop here. So of course Ludo is there, and they have to fight him while Star's wand isn't at its tip-top shape because none of its spells are working and all the power drain. But at the end, they finally manage to get her a new charger and use it to charge up her wand, and they get out of there. But when they return, they see that Marco's minivac is floating in midair. And so, of course, Star says immediately that she's going to touch it, and Marco warns her.
No, don't touch it. She's touching it.
It turns out to be fine. It's just that Marco accidentally vacuumed up Star's charger. That's why the minivac started glowing. But, yeah, don't touch strange glowing objects, Star. That's just not a good idea. You at least use a stick or something to poke at it. Just don't touch it. That's going to get you in trouble someday. I just know it. Anyway, this quote is brilliant because it has to do with Star's goofiness as well as Marco's resolve for following everything by the book. So anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the next one. Number 3. This quote is from episode 2b, School Spirit. Now this episode is Star's first experience with a school football game, but of course from what she's hearing about how the visiting team is going to completely slaughter Echo Creek's football team, she thinks that it's going to be an actual battle. So she gets together a bunch of traps and turns a bunch of cats and squirrels and birds into monsters so that she can help fight off the evil team, which she thinks is an army. So when she ends up at the football game in full battle gear, she even turned her wand into a mace somehow. I'm not sure how she managed to do that. You can see that she's a little bit crazy right now. So Marco realizes that he needs to take her aside to figure out what's going on, so he tells Ferguson and Alfonso, his other two friends,
I need to talk to Princess Coo-Coo Pants.
That quote is so funny because it is entirely true. Star, what the heck is wrong with you? You are completely crazy right now. Although, admittedly, it is kind of Marco's fault for not explaining to you what football is. I mean, come on. This is only episode 2 of the series. Star has not been on Earth that long. She has no idea about most things on Earth. So Marco really should have explained what football was. So, that one's on you, Marco. That one's on you. But anyway, this quote was so funny because of how true it was. She was being crazy. And that whole funny because it's true is exactly why this next quote is so brilliant. So, let's go on to this next one. Number 2. This quote is from episode 13, Storm the Castle. In this episode, Marco is Toffee's prisoner, and Star later comes to save him, but Marco is constantly jabbing and mocking Toffee, trying to figure out what the villain's plans are, which I'm not even sure I ever figured out what his plans were until he revealed them. He's a weird, creepy character. And Marco will not play Toffee's game. Even when Toffee offers a sandwich, Marco rejects it immediately. He's determined not to play into this villain's hands. And because Marco was not playing along with his game, Toffee tells him that he's a disappointment. But Marco, of course, has the perfect comeback when he tells him,
Yeah? Well, you're boring. And you dress like a lawyer.
I was quite surprised that the writers actually put this into Marco's lines, because that's definitely what I was thinking of this character. So it was very interesting to hear what of the actual characters in the show say it themselves about this villain that I really don't like at all. I think he's annoying and boring and a bit two-dimensional. Ludo is much more fun than Toffee. But of course, Toffee ends up being the bigger picture villain than Ludo, who's just kind of annoying, but way more entertaining. He really is. So Toffee, I agree with Marco, you're boring, and you actually do dress like a lawyer, which makes you even creepier. So anyway, that was this quote. Let's go on to the number 1 quote of this Eagle 8 countdown. And finally, number 1. This quote is from episode 8A, Blood Moon Ball. Now, of course, in this episode, Star accepts her demon ex-boyfriend Tom's invitation to the Blood Moon Ball, which happens once every 667 years. Boy, that was really long, and a lot of things wrong with that sentence, such as, why does she even have a demon ex-boyfriend in the first place? Why did you ever start dating him, Star? Now, Marco was against this idea from the beginning. He does not trust Tom right off the bat, not at all, and he even goes down to save Star to bring her back up from the underworld, because that's literally where this ball is being held. Why does Star not see how this is a bad idea? This quote that gets the top spot actually comes from before the ball itself, when Tom is still trying to convince Star to come to the ball with him. And Marco, of course, is trying to convince Star not to go to the ball with Tom because he does not trust him, and rightly so. That guy is a flippin' weirdo and a total creep and stalker. But the way that he tells her that she shouldn't go is absolutely brilliant when he tells her,
Star, never go with a predator to a second location.
You are absolutely right, Marco. He is so observant, and it is 100% accurate. Tom is only inviting Star down there so that he can try to get his soul bonded to hers for all of eternity under the light of the blood moon. Again, so many bad ideas with going to this ball. Why did Star ever accept to go? I will never understand. But of course, when Marco goes down there to save Star, his soul and Star's soul end up being the two that get bonded together for all of eternity when they dance under the light of the blood moon. But anyway, this quote gets the top spot because I absolutely love how accurate Marco's first impression of Tom is. And Tom's a little bit okay better now that we're in Season 2, but he is still dark, broody, and creepy. So, nice call, Marco, in calling out exactly what Tom is like and for going down there to save Star. Before I go, here's a quick recap of today's Eagle 8 countdown.
Psychology is like karate for your mind. Hey, Ponyhead. Good luck in Princess Jail. No. I am completely wrong for this. I'm a misunderstood bad boy. There's really nothing worse than wet socks. No, don't touch it. She's touching it. I need to talk to Princess Coo-Coo Pants. Yeah? Well, you're boring. And you dress like a lawyer. Star, never go with a predator to a second location.
I hope you enjoyed my list of the top 8 quotes from Marco Diaz in Star vs. the Forces of Evil Season 1. If you enjoyed this video and if you're excited for more videos like this in the future, maybe even look at some characters from different shows, please drop a like below and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Help the channel reach that 100 subscriber goal. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys!